India wins by 36 runs. The series is now level. It's 1-1. The final match will happen day after tomorrow, of course, in Bangalore, and that's going to be the series decider. You're watching My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Yes, the same person who about 3.5 hours ago said that India will win this match. I may not have a My 11 Circle expert couch to prove it, but I don't need it because my greatness radiates off my face. Enough now. I've got Ajay, Jadeja and Zaheer here with me. India wins the match by 36 runs. But of course, this margin of 36 runs, actually, it is a comprehensive win today. After that Steve Smith wicket, you knew, it was just formalities that were being fulfilled in the last 6-7 overs.
Oh, it is a comprehensive win, and especially after what happened in the last game.
Yeah.
This morning when we came, not 3.5 hours ago, 7 hours. It's a one-day game.
No, I'm saying 3.5 hours ago I said that bol diya to bol diya.
Mid-show.
Was it
mid-show I said?
I thought the सुबह ही बोल दिया था.
बोला तो मैंने 3 दिन पहले था.
So,
but by the way, we want to appreciate. I know you were trying to give me one little tana that I like T20 cricket so much that I am only thinking in T20.
Yes,
I appreciate the tana. I appreciate it.
Now you're enjoying one day.
I'm enjoying.
Right?
I'm enjoying this series. Is amazing
because you've got two teams competing, and you don't know who'll win. Somebody has to play well to win a game. It's not just a given that you come in and you just turn up and you'd win. It's not like the other teams we've had. And what had happened in the last game, it was important for how all of us wanted to see how India bounces back, and I think they played tremendously well. They did all the things you expect them to do. A champion side would come out and not be rattled, but just go about doing their business and in fact play even more aggressive, and which is what we expect from Virat Kohli and his team. And that's exactly what we got today.
Yes, and Steve Smith, of course, you knew as long as Steve Smith was around, the match was never going to be India's. India would never be comfortable. And then when Steve Smith went for 98, of course, supremely dejected he was. But when he went for 98, you knew that it was pretty much over for Australia. But this other thing that Ajay just said about one-day cricket, and I know that even I say it a lot, that I'm not a big fan of one-day cricket. I think what you said after that actually sums it up for me. When you say cakewalk matches, according to me, a cricket match is supremely exciting, or any game is supremely exciting, if you don't know the result in the last 10% of the game. Right? Yeah. And that's what's not been happening in ODIs. You get to know halfway only. It's a one-way game, one-way street.
That's if you only look at the scorecard and you don't enjoy the game. Look at all these games.
But this one has gone down, like till the last 10%.
No,
till the last 10 overs.
Last 10 overs are actually boring.
15 overs, let's say.
Last 10, 15 was already
till
done.
Till Steve Smith was there, you were like, Australia's got a chance.
The period that everybody looks at one-day cricket and says is the most boring part is the most important part.
And in these two games has been the interesting part as well.
Because the middle overs, remember when Kulcha was bowling, remember what happened today, remember what happened the other day. It is the middle that decides what happens in the end.
And we will show you that. Come, let's show you the comparison of the innings progression to show you how level it. Look at this, man. 55 for no loss, 55 for 1. 65 for 1, 66 for 1. 67 for 1 India. This is where now you see India started tearing ahead, right? It's 50 for no loss. Then after that, 31 to 35. Again, both teams are pretty much similar. And then it changes here. India, of course, changed gears, got 124 on the back of KL Rahul, Zach. That was KL Rahul brilliance, right?
This actually sums up KL Rahul's inning beautifully.
The importance of KL Rahul, yes.
The differentiator in the game. Last 15 overs, India managed to get 124 runs. And I think that was huge on this this track for sure. And later on also, it was actually on the hindsight. Australia must be thinking, okay, maybe we went wrong in reading the pitch. Maybe, we should have looked at those numbers and history of this ground that, team batting first has had an advantage here.
Yeah.
The wicket does slow down a bit. The game also starts early. So, the dew also doesn't really come into picture. Both the teams, I guess, knew that, okay, dew is not going to be a factor in today's game. And the wicket did support a tad bit more in the second innings bowling. So that is something, which Australia maybe on the hindsight must be thinking, we missed the trick here. Maybe we should have been...
batting first.
Batting first on this track.
You know what happened, right, with Aaron Finch?
Could have been different.
What happened with Aaron Finch? Over smart. Complacent ho gaya. Home game for him, no? It was a home game. So he thought he knew the conditions. Gujarat Lion he is. Thought he knew the conditions and he thought, I will chase. But no. Rajkot played a trick on Aaron Finch.
They played differently as well. You look at that stat. couple of days ago, we saw Australia come in and, even that 255, they chased it. We were talking about the aggressive. Now, look at what happens. The biggest change, that first change that you see is between 21st and the 30th over.
Yes.
They haven't lost a single wicket, but they're way behind then,
the 8th ball.
The 16, 17 runs short. Plus, you expect Australia, that's the stage that they keep going. It's not, we were talking about it, how they approach the game. So they played it differently as well.
I think the Indian bowlers choked them. Between
Of
21 and
course,
30,
of
it was the
course,
Indian bowlers actually who, and Kuldeep also got the better of them at that
That's
time.
why Finch's wicket was crucial one.
Yeah.
He was the one in that middle phase who was going to put pressure on spinners.
Yeah.
Spinners didn't feel that pressure because Smith and Labuschagne both were taking their time in terms of focusing more on singles and doubles. They're more correct players. So I think that's something which worked in the spinners' favor, and that did build that pressure which was required. I was happy to see some kind of reversing today in the game. That's another part which made viewing a bit exciting, and bowlers had that chance of making that impact in that back end of the innings, and you saw those beautiful Yorkers which Shami bowled.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was on a string, yeah? Those two balls that he bowled, that double wicket over of his, those two wicket-taking balls, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's something which has been Shami's strength.
Yeah.
And the wicket looked like, once we get through those key wickets of Smith and Labuschagne, Carey for that matter. After that, it was going to be difficult.
That's Kuldeep's over there, you see, right? The 38th, where he's got Carey and Smith in the same over, right? At that point in time, of course, the pendulum wildly swinging in India's favour. And then, of course, Shami closing it. When he got Agar and Stark when he got Turner and Cummins of back-to-back deliveries there in the 44th, you knew it was done then. That was it.
I think at Smith's wicket, it was going to be a very uphill task for Australian batsmen.
So it was, at that time, when he got out, it was improbable. When Shami took the two, then it was just impossible. It was just, that was curtains, right? That was curtains right there.
Once you have Carey walking in December, it's not the season.
That a Kachi Carey joke,
Kachi Carey walked in, at a stage where from there it was improbable, impossible.
When Kachi Carey comes, तो फिर तो अचार डलना ही है.
तो डल गया अचार आज. Same team 2 days ago. So, I'm just so happy to see how we've bounced back and how we've played, how we approached it. I mean, of course, you got great result at the end, but the approach was fabulous.
Yeah. Today, of course, extremely positive, and that 20 to 30 over spell. And let's have a look at how the bowlers did, the Indian bowlers analysis. I mean, we keep talking about, of course, we talk about the batsmen and we talk about KL Rahul, but today, look at this. You've got the wickets there. For Mohammad Shami got 3, 2 apiece for Saini, Jadeja and Yadav, and then Bumrah with that killer economy and 1 wicket. So today has been an all-round bowling performance.
Look at that wickets column.
Yeah.
The bowling coach will be happy, the bowlers will be happy, and team, of course, is very happy that crucial game in the series to level the series. You needed a performance like that, particularly after the previous result, when Australians didn't lose a single wicket. So after that, to respond in such fashion is something which all the bowlers should take pride in.
But look at Bumrah on this kind of surface. He's bowled at 3.5. That's just insane. Come on, Ajay. That's illegal. Right, really.
And he started off so well. I mean, of course, you had a different total today than to the last game, but 2 maidens at the top.
4 over 7 runs in his first 4.
So that set, I think that's really actually set Australia on the back foot first.
Yeah.
And then, they were in the game in the sense that, but even when they didn't lose wickets, so I think they went into a mindset of a different kind. Today last time they were probably playing as they had nothing to lose. They were coming to play in India, the best team in the world. They went out there and expressed themselves and won it, easily. Now with a little pressure, we've beaten them with 10 wickets in hand. So today they tried to play differently from what they generally play.
I think they were slightly defensive today in certain parts as well.
Mindset. I mean, it happens. You got to still bowl good deliveries and keep it right there where the batsman is not taking a chance. Because you see that, first is what I showed you, that even between 15 and overs number 30, they didn't lose a single wicket, but that they didn't move on there. And that's how Australia plays. At the start, they were ready to say, okay, Jasprit Bumrah is the main guy who, even if he bowls well, we won't take a chance. Normally in modern day cricket, you don't let somebody bowl a couple of maiden overs, especially back to back. So, Jasprit Bumrah is special. It was just matter of time. I mean, he's just come back from injury. He's getting into the groove of things, and today he was at his best with the new ball. He was right there. Then in the middle spell when he came, he was the one who actually started those chakris that we call or katoris.
Yeah.
What was Carey then? Left hand was batting at that time. Carey? Was it early?
Carey, yeah.
Carey, yeah. And then he bowled his slow ones, and at the end he finished it up with Yorkers. So he's up and running. But couple of things. We've won the game, we lost the last game. What is the difference between it? Jasprit Bumrah didn't have a great day last game. Rohit Sharma didn't contribute, and Virat Kohli didn't contribute.
Yeah.
You got these three guys. Today you've won.
Are you talking about your A+ grade contracts?
Yeah.
All three of them have come good today. That's why they have the A+ contracts.
And
changes.
they thoroughly deserve. And
Yeah.
what you had an added bonus was KL Rahul.
Yep.
But otherwise, it's still the same side. These three strike. These are match winners of yours.
Yep.
And now you can add KL Rahul to that, I think.
Correct.
And not to, no discredit to Shikhar Dhawan here. He's been a most consistent guy. But the guys who are turning the game around or who make the difference when they do well or not are these three guys. And they all fired today, all
Get it
together.
from them, yeah. And of course, for India, the last few years, it's been the secret of success has been 1-2-3. 1-2-3 being Rohit, Shikhar, and Virat, of course. Forgetting the last match where Virat was not at 3. But they've been the 1-2-3, and today the 1-2-3 have got runs, and that's sort of, and that's not just India. See, the thing is, everybody says over dependence on 1-2-3. That's every team. Every team 1-2-3 is going to get you the runs, right?
Yeah. And can we do something? Whoever goes to bat at 4 is not called number 4.
Yeah,
Because we've seen even Kohli fails at 4. Yeah? Everybody fails at 4. So we don't have a batsman at 4. Maybe we should just send in a bowler at 4.
Yeah.
At 5, KL Rahul was fabulous.
Yeah.
See, when you look at these
That
two
is
matches,
such a good- that's a conspiracy theory I'm on board with. It's good, huh?
when you look at these two matches, you know that the bowlers are going to have that impact, and we are talking about it. Like it's about getting those early wickets. Today we've seen it from Bumrah and Shami both. Building that pressure. Shami eventually getting Warner out, but I think even in India's first innings batting, it was the bowlers from Australia who got them back in the game in that middle phase. Where they really choked it, got the wickets. So I think this series, even in Bangalore, the deciding one, it's going to be decided by the bowlers.
Yeah.
Because when you look at these two teams, you know that, okay, 1, 2, 3, both the sides are going to have that impact. You look at the Indian side or you look at the Australian side. It's about the bowling team who is going to make that inroads in the opposition is going to have upper hand in the game.
So now, of course, we're talking about KL Rahul did phenomenally with the bat, came in at number 5 today. Also did really well behind the stumps. There you go. He's got 80 of 52 with 150 plus strike rate. There's 6 fours and 3 sixes. He's also got 2 catches. He's got the stumping. That was a good flashy stumping. That was quick behind the wickets. And of course, playing today as a stand-in wicket-keeper because Rishabh Pant had that concussion scare, so under observation, should perhaps be back for Bangalore. Now my question to both of you is, if Rishabh is back for Bangalore, if he's declared fit and he's playing, he's the wicket-keeper, right? Or do we have an accidental wicket-keeper now? Because a lot of things have happened like this, accidentally. And of course, if you're a batsman called Rahul from Bangalore, then you can be wicket-keeper for many, many one-day internationals.
Most things in Indian cricket happen accidentally, for sure. But I think Rishabh Pant for me is always a better batsman than a wicket-keeper.
Yeah.
Many years ago, even in England tour last year when he got that test 100 and he was looking, I said his wicket-keeping would probably be more questioned than his batting.
Yeah.
And you probably miss him as a batsman because what he can do, others can't. I still believe that he's the X factor when he turns into delivering as often as we'd like is something that is still work in progress, but he's got something that's special. So even if he's not keeping wickets, I would not ever leave him out as a batsman because there are enough places in the side for him to bat.
Yeah.
Keeping anybody can keep. But you were not going to miss him.
Yeah.
I didn't miss him in the last couple of games. There's not a moment that you would have thought, oh, ये KL Rahul क्यों wicket keeping कर रहा है यार यहाँ पे ऋषभ पंत होता तो.
Yeah.
So I'm saying from that point of sense, wicket keeping you don't miss, but you'll certainly miss him for the quality of batting that he provides.
But also there are some questions which the team management will have to ask themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just focus on one incident which happened in today's game, could have really had a really huge impact on the game today. You know, when Saini chased down that delivery, went for four, or he saved that boundary.
No, it
but
went.
he
Yeah, he saved it. He
I think
pulled it
he
back
saved
in with
yeah,
his hand, but then went over and twisted his ankle.
Yeah, so that is something. Imagine he had not bowled a single delivery.
Yeah.
So if it had gone in a other direction, you know, where the injury was serious, in today's game when your batting has done so well, you know, you are risking the game.
Yeah.
You know, and that is something which the question which the team management will have to ask themselves and see that, you know, what were their options, because you're talking about 10 overs.
Yeah,
and 10
Shreyas
overs
Iyer has
is
bowled a
huge.
few overs in Mushtaq Ali.
Okay.
Right? He does. He bowls a few. But again, we've not seen it in international. There's that top order option.
So the question which you asked, you know, what is going to happen now? So if
Yeah.
KL has kept the wickets, are they going to go in Shivam Dubey's direction, or are they going to go replace Manish Pandey with Rishabh Pant, because he's fit and available right now? So I think these are the questions these are the discussions which will go on now, maybe on that flight or as they reach Bangalore. But these are the things which they'll have to think of, because see, you have to think of that scenario also, that what if we are in that scenario? Do we have enough resources to see through the day?
Yeah.
Because you don't get substitute if your premier bowler is injured. So that is something, you know, which 5 bowlers, longer game, okay, T20 maybe you can manage, but I think 50 overs, that's something which
It's
you might have to
risky
think. And
business.
especially in a game like Bangalore right now, which is going to be deciding the series.
Yeah.
The bigger scare that I had was when Rohit Sharma dived for that ball and that shoulder. When I saw that, I mean, you know, why, you know,
My heart stopped
yes,
for a minute.
because I remember certain coaches, I can't name them, there were few people, seniors, would always say, you know, if you can score runs and you're the main player, it's okay if you don't dive.
Yeah.
Now I understand that, because when I see Rohit Sharma dive for that ball and his shoulder had almost gone, something happens. So there are players that, you know, of course it's a team, everybody has to do the same thing. But in a cricket team, I think you've got to treat people differently and you expect things from people also in a different way. Rohit Sharma doesn't need to dive. I don't know how coach is looking at it.
I agree. As a
if
fan, I
had-
agree.
Well,
Like, he's too
yeah.
precious.
No, and
He's more precious than the one run he would have saved.
no,
For sure.
But there are times, I mean, at the stage of the game that I was, if it's a last over and it's going to change a game, of course you do. But generally, I would expect Rohit Sharma not to take that risk. I mean, of course, for India, then Coach Saab should be worried about, you know, what's coming up next.
There are specialists in the team, isn't it? So there are specialist boundary riders.
Yeah.
And there are
This
not
is scary.
many occasions when you see Rohit Sharma on the boundary. You know, usually you see him in the 30-yard circle, and I think, you know, that's something which is the safest way of approaching
But he also,
a scenario
he
like
adds another bit of value over there, is because he speaks to bowlers a lot, doesn't he? I've always seen him at sort of mid-off, mid-on. He speaks to bowlers. He talks to them. And he does that, I'm sure, because he does that a lot at MI as well. He has that habit, doesn't
And, you know, in a team sport, that is the advantage.
Yeah.
You know, so when I was also used to be on the field, you know, you would always have voice of Sachin Tendulkar coming from mid on, mid off. You know,
Yeah.
talking to you about the batsman, what he's looking to do, the mindset, what if you need any help. You know, and that's something which is which differentiates team sport than individual sport. I
Yeah,
think
it's
individual sport,
invaluable, I
you're
mean.
fighting your lone battle, but I think, you know, in team sport, this is the advantage, so that you're never alone. If you are under pressure, there's always help available for you in the field.
Well, anyway, the good news is that the Rohit Sharma injury just turned out to be a scare and should be okay for Sunday. That's what Virat has said after the match. So, of course, as fans, we definitely want him to be there. So, yeah. Definitely a little scary. You don't want that to happen. All right. Now let's talk about the decider. We're going to talk about, it's just a 3-game series, right? It's only a 3-game series, but it's gone 1-1, so it's very exciting. And that's the kind of one-day cricket that I really love, and I'm sure you guys really love as well. But what you also love is your performance. So before we look at the final game, let's look at how you did in this game. My 11 circle, this is our ultimate team of the day. These are the 11 that you should have picked to get the maximum number of points. Alex Carey would have been your wicket keeper. Shikhar Dhawan, your vice captain. KL Rahul, your captain. You obviously want Steve Smith in that team somewhere. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. It's the greatest hits. It's the team of the greatest hits. They would have been there. Your My 11 Circle ultimate team of the day. Let's go to our My 11 Circle champion of the day, the person who's got the most number of points. Let's have a look now at who that is. Raman Kumar. Congratulations. Raman Daman, 508.25 points. Congratulations to you. And you are my 11th Circle Champion of the Day. Before we go to the final game, a quick word, of course, on Steve Smith as well. Just missing out his 100, but pure class. What can you say about Steve Smith or a Virat Kohli that hasn't been said before, right? And again, with Steve Smith, I just say that 1 year that he missed, that's really been a loss for cricket fans. It's been a loss for batting fans. But he seems to be making up for that lost time on turbo, isn't he?
He's a match winner, and every time you see him bat, with his that awkward technique, he just figured out.
I just
he
keep
just
this
knows his
visual
game so well.
Just keep that visual back. Sorry, you were saying awkward technique. Just add to that.
Yeah.
This visual. I don't know what shot he's playing.
Exactly.
Right? It seems like almost a mirror image, but you're like, it's Steve Smith. He's probably playing something. Right?
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he has such a good understanding about his technique and his strengths.
Yeah.
And any bowler who has bowled to him, he finds it difficult to adapt. So that is something which he brings to the table, and just having that clarity of thought, it's again goes back to showing that to score runs you just don't need the technique. You got to have all the dimensions of the game sorted, and the consistency as he has shown with the knocks which he has been playing, it's just simply amazing.
Is Labuschagne his mini-me? He's looking like his mini-me, isn't he? Early days, I know.
Both very wristy, because they use the wrist. In fact, when I look at Steve Smith, and if you're watching it on TV, you try and block the waist below and mirror it with VVS Lakshman. If you can ever do that, you'll probably see a VVS Lakshman style there. Anything that's short of length. The way, the comfort with which they place the ball off the back foot is very similar to VVS Lakshman would do it. It's just that his bottom legs are going all over the place.
Yeah.
There's movement happening, but he's pretty stable at the top, and he plays with those wrists. And Labuschagne is probably similar to that.
Yeah.
They're very wristy, which is what you don't see generally with Australian players. Michael Clarke was the last one that I can think of, or even Mark Waugh at one time. So they're a little odd when they come from Australia, but it's a game that you see a lot in India, especially people using their wrist that much. Not probably in modern day generation, more power now, but he's the old timer kind of a player. Everything off the back foot looks exactly like VVS Lakshman to me.
Yeah, true.
When he plays that, just with ease, he can time it past point, he just does that, or plays a ball outside off stump to square leg, front of square, back of square. So he's got so much control on that game with his wrist that it's very difficult to place a field.
Yeah.
And his wagon wheel changes depending on where you keep the fielder.
Yeah.
It keeps you guessing all the time. Labuschagne is a little more, down the ground more often, but he's quite wristy as well.
Yeah, well, a comparison to VVS Lakshman, anybody would take that compliment happily. But then you see Labuschagne and Steve Smith, inseparable, love each other's company, just like Finch and Warner, inseparable at the top. Then you've got 3 and 4 who are inseparable. They've spent so much time in the middle. In fact, Aaron Finch said after the game, the only time you can keep Labuschagne and Smith apart is when they're sleeping. It's good Finch has clarified. I don't think he needed to clarify that, but he's clarified it, so that's good. But that's exactly what Aaron Finch
in
said.
that partnership, if you see, they were actually putting the pressure on spinners by using those sweep shots. They were finding gaps. So they have a clear plan, and they're very busy players. I think both of them are very busy players. So and that one aspect of the game you need when you're playing against the bowling attack like Indians have.
Yeah.
So you usually attacking with the spinners, and if you're able to counter that, then you're always in the driver's seat, and that's something which both these guys were giving the glimpse of what they can do as a partnership.
Yeah.
So I think looking at the last game of the series, or any time you play against Australia, every time these two are batting, that's one thing you have to figure out as a captain of a position. You have to know how you can contain these two, because these two are so busy that they can actually,
and they've got a lot
without
of ball
really
lines,
realizing, take the game away from you just by running well, just by finding those gaps and playing those shots.
96 of 94 balls, that was the partnership between the two of them. So that's something that India will be watching out for in the third ODI as well. Okay, time for a preview of the Bengaluru match. The series decider, it's 1-all. The action moves to Bengaluru, India playing Australia. And, oh, wow. It's a cracker, love it. It's even the last series had a decider. Unfortunately, India ended on the wrong side of that one. There was a 5-game series last year, only a 3-game series this year. I'm definitely sure that they're going to turn it around. I'm going to ask Ajay and Zaheer about team changes, if any. Let's have a look at India first. India, if Rishabh Pant is fit, right? If he comes back, if he's given the go-ahead, remember they got Bharat as well as a backup wicket keeper, because Samson and Ishan Kishan are both in New Zealand right now. They got Bharat, who joined the team for the second game. Well, if Rishabh Pant is fit, what do you do?
Like I said earlier, I think the main question in front of think tank is how to go about the last game.
Yeah.
You know, whether the incident which we were discussing earlier of Saini, you know, twisting his ankle and not being available to.
Do you go with 5 bowlers or do you keep a cover?
Exactly. So that is one question which they have to deal with. I think playing Saini today was a good call. So that was a very good call which they made before this match. KL has looked good. So I think, you know, the question is, okay, whether you need Rishabh Pant's power at number 5, number 6. You know, you'll have to change that now since KL also has scored runs. Shreyas is another discussion possibly around that. You know, he's shown the signs that he's not in the right zone at the moment. You know, so today also with that rush shot gave me that kind of a feeling that, you know, maybe he needs a break. So that is another thing which the team management will be discussing for sure. So you might see Rishabh Pant playing in place of Shreyas and Shivam Dube coming in place of Manish Pandey. That is also one possibility which
that's
which
interesting. Yeah.
The bowling, I think they'll continue with the same attack what played today. I think the bowling card, if you see today, I don't think there will be any questions asked.
Yeah, you're not changing anyone. You're not changing 7 to 11. There's no one changing there. Yeah.
And Rohit Sharma's fitness is something, you know, which they'll have to see.
So Virat, of course, after the match said that Rohit is going to be fine. He said categorically in the post-match that he'll be good to play on Sunday. So that's one less thing for us to worry about as fans.
What about Shikhar Dhawan as well? Because he didn't take the field today.
Shikhar Dhawan didn't take the field today. There's a lot of ifs and buts in the
seriousness
top 6.
Yeah, so
I
think these the discussions will be around these lines and depending on what the physios are saying and what is the availability.
Yeah.
So we might see some forced change and we might see some tactical changes as well. So
Yeah, why would you leave? If everything's okay after the concussion, I don't know what's happened with his. Otherwise, he's one of your players that you've been trying to groom. He's the guy that everybody believes that is an X factor. You're going to play on a very high-scoring game.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're looking more at strike rates and not more, probably as much as consistency, because your consistent guys will do what they have to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, he comes back into the side, whether he keeps. I don't mind if he doesn't keep, but as a batsman, I would still like to see him in there.
Yeah.
Whose place, like he says, you know, it could be either Manish or Shreyas or whoever. So I see that. That's how I see it. Bowling, not much change.
Yeah.
You know,
Bowling means no change. Definitely 7 to 11 is not changing.
Well,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11 you're keeping. You're keeping Kuldeep and Jadeja as your spinners and you're keeping your 3 pacers.
you would. You know, Ravindra's done exceptionally well. He's contributing with bat and ball, and you know, it's just that high-scoring game. You could take a chance with a leg spinner. You know,
But you still want to see Kulcha, right? We all.
No, not
if
just
nothing else, even for nostalgia purpose.
No, because it is about, you know, those 6 balls.
Yeah.
You know, in a 50-over game, when do you get those 6 deliveries? You know, it's the top 6 that will decide that game, right? So if you get wickets at the top, seamers do it for you, fine. But if it doesn't, then the spinners have a different. You look at the games when we don't pick up a couple of wickets before the spinners come on. It's a different game that works all together.
And also Chahal, it is Chinnaswamy, it is a ground that he knows.
So with Chahal, what I find is that, whether it's no loss or one loss, he's the one who's always tossing it up. You have to go after him. He's like the Australian team.
Big-hearted.
No, you've got to beat him. He doesn't give you singles.
Yeah.
Anybody who gives singles, somebody like Smith and Labuschagne would be more than happy taking 5 singles, because 4 over mein ek chauka lagega, so it becomes 6 and over.
Yeah.
But it's the singles that allow players like this to play through the middle stage.
Actually, that's what Chahal's philosophy is, right? That you can, if you want to hit a 6, maar ke dikha do, single nahi dunga.
So when you have the opposition and the middle order is such, say, I'm just presuming that, there's Labuschagne and Steve Smith batting in the middle from over number 15 to 35, and they get a partnership through. You have all kinds of bowlers. Somebody would give 5 singles and 1 boundary in, say, 5 overs, so it becomes 6 and over. Or you'll have somebody like who gets hit for 5 sixes and still gives 30 runs.
Yeah.
Your chance of winning a game is a guy who's probably got hit for 5 sixes and not a guy who gave 20, 25 singles.
Yeah.
So that's a call that a captain or a team has to think of. So if you're thinking attacking, it's Chahal.
I'm telling you, Ajay Jadeja as fielding captain and Gurgaon nightclubs. This is what they have in common. They do not like singles.
Singles weren't allowed in nightclubs when we.
That's right.
Yeah.
No singles allowed.
No singles. Only
outside at the door.
And ladies' nights were free. So
yeah. But we've got 22 men on the field. Yeah, this is the senior men's game. Let's have a look at the Australia team as well and see would they make any changes. See anything, gentlemen, anyone. Hazelwood, perhaps. Do you think Hazelwood gets a game?
Yeah, I think that
You want
that
Hazelwood?
might turn out to be a good call.
You want him in place of Agar or Kane Richardson?
You can choose that. I think if you can squeeze that in on that track, because you've seen how difficult Chinnaswamy wicket can be for spinners also at times. So that is something which they can think of. If they can include Hazelwood in that lineup, that will make it even more potent in terms of bowling, giving more opportunities of picking wickets, especially in that middle overs as well with that extra bounce, because Agar is someone who is a very who's not an attacking bowler. So like how the theory which he was bringing in, so that's the call. If you want to be attacking, then maybe go in with 4 seamers and Zampa.
They'll want to attack, no? After giving 340 away today.
Yeah, so that is the discussion.
Attack a little bit.
In batting, I think they've ticked most of the boxes. Today's wicket was not suiting their style of batting, I felt. Maybe Chinnaswamy will give them that luxury of.
They anyway don't have any options. They've got an opener option. Opener's not playing. Darcy Short is not playing, and they've got Hanscom. So only Hanscom can come in place of perhaps Ashton Turner. Otherwise, there's not really any options there. So the possible change is only one.
Yeah.
If they do. Yeah. Right in the batting.
And
Darcy Short is not playing at 5. You're wasting his talent. He doesn't play at 5. Yeah. So
Agar does nothing for you.
Hanscom is backup to Alex Carey anyways. He keeps.
Yeah.
So you've seen Agar twice, right? One day you saw them with wickets down. Agar looked the same. Today you saw with no wickets down. Agar looked the same. Whereas Josh Hazelwood probably I'd go with him, because if we get a couple of wickets, he'll put pressure there. Then in the later part of the game also it'll be. If I'm thinking from Australia, you're always better off with Hazelwood.
But tell me, is there a mindset aversion for a visiting team saying if you're playing in India, we've got to play 2 spinners? Is there some sort of mindset aversion that could be there for Australia?
In last 4 or 5 years, we have actually seen that a lot of teams have been consciously selecting the team thinking that, okay, because it's India and Indian conditions, we need 2 spinners.
Yeah.
I think, that's something which we have seen, but it need not be the case. You've seen,
because Australia's played everywhere else in the world with 1 spinner.
Yeah. And what people need to realize who come here is there are no more Indian wickets.
Yeah.
The Indian wickets that we used to talk about or we've used to seeing is when the ball used to turn.
Yeah.
You have Kuldeep Yadav bowling, who's one of the leg spinners, and wrist spinners turn it on any kind of surface. You didn't see any turn. You saw Ravindra bowl a couple of spin balls or ball turns, Zampa going straight. Wickets around the world don't help spinners anymore. It's not that, it's not old Indian wickets where the ball would grip. You're going to play in Chinnaswamy. It's going to be up and down, straight and,
straight and fast.
Straight and fast. So you don't, so it is no use thinking you're playing in India and that's why you want to play. these wickets are as good as wickets, you're probably playing at Oval or Adelaide or anywhere where it's a flat wicket with probably less bounce. In Rajkot, the road. Mumbai was different, extra
What
bounce.
about Bangalore?
Bangalore, I don't know, because it's been surprising last couple of years. A couple of years we saw it rank Turner, then it came back to a nice wicket. But it doesn't have the bounce that Mumbai has.
The fact is that it's a small garden, right? Anyway, going to hit it into Kaban Park.
As a venue for a decider of a series.
Yeah.
It can't get better than this. I think, everyone enjoys playing in that atmosphere. The fans there, it's just phenomenal. So all the support which will be there and the atmosphere in the stadium will be just perfect for a decider of a series.
So would you chase or bat first?
I'll have to be there closer to the wicket.
No, say if the wicket is flat that
No,
wicket.
I think it depends on you can judge a wicket by looking at it with a close counter. And I think it
so we're
should
doing
be
our next show from
a preset.
But it's not going to turn, right? It's not going to turn. This is the problem, right? This is the issue that I have. When you see it from the Western eye or the Far Eastern eye, you're always thinking India is the land of snake charmers and, animals walking on the street. It's no longer turning wickets. The world has changed. India has become modern. You can play one spin Australia, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you, if you really want to.
And from Australia's point of view, when I look at it from India, if Labuschagne and Smith are together for 20 overs, we have a better chance of winning.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah? But today they were 96 of 94.
Stats don't matter.
It's not stats, it's what they scored at a run a ball.
This is Bhavishyavani now. Expert
Run a,
Bhavishyavani.
No.
I like it.
I'll explain. Run a ball in a 270 run chase or 250 run chase is way ahead. In 340 run chase, run a ball and then you get out and leave.
Good point.
It was thanks to KL Rahul that you got to this score.
Yes.
Run a ball at the top of the innings is not a problem, but then you got to see it through. And I don't see, at least 2 games that we've seen. So if they're both together, then you still have a hope because they're not dominating you. The bowlers still have hope when they come back.
That's right. Because after those two...
So for them to beat us, these two can't be together for more than 18 overs. Chalo.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll be something we'll watch.
Anyway, after them is Alex and the 2 Ashtons. Yeah, it's Alex and the 2 Ashtons who come after them. And,
But why are we worrying about Australia?
Why are we worrying? That's right.
Sanuki.
Play 3 spinners if you want.
We're just analyzing the game, that's it.
Sanuki. As they say in the Punjabi, yaar, Sanuki, KFP Sunday. Ki farak penda hai Sunday, alright?
Oh, it's on Sunday.
With a cherry on top. Alright, now you can play, of course. See, we're arguing about Australia's team selection, India's team selection. But we want you to select your team on My 11 Circle. You download the app and of course you choose the game. Which one? Hey, have you been sleeping under a rock, my friend? What are you saying? It is the decider game. It is the game of all games. It is India v Australia in Bengaluru, the series decider. I can't remember the last time I was so excited about a bilateral one-day series, but that's just how it is. And we know that you're all going to be interested as well. And we, of course, are going to be here to talk to you about it absolutely live on the Sunday. It is a day of rest, but not for us. It is 1 o'clock Indian Standard Time, so whichever part of the world you're in, just calculate it. And, it's on your phones these days, so I don't need to tell you. But what I do need to tell you, because very few know it, and it's definitely not on your phones, is the answer to the Joy Factor question. The questions that cannot be Googled because you have no idea what the question is. So what do you ask Google? Google comes back to you and says, are you feeling well, my friend? Joy Factor question. Here it is. Let's read it out for you. Shikhar Dhawan and Hardik Pandya are the only 2 players for India to accomplish what specific feat in cricket? Others include another Indian, but not for India, and Sir Donald Bradman. I'll decode the question one by one. The one Indian not for India is Ranjit Singh ji for England. It was scoring a century before lunch in a test match. That you go into the morning so hungry that you eat the bowlers up, and by the time you get to lunch, you don't even trouble the buffet. And that's what these 4 have done. I remember Shikhar's, obviously. I remember Hardik's as well against Sri Lanka.
And I remember who?
You remember Sir Don's?
No, Viru missing it. Viru missing it.
Viru, abhi Viru ko batana hi chahiye na. Viru's here only in the vicinity.
Yeah.
He's around somewhere. Let's remind him afterwards. No?
Yeah, we will do
Let's
that.
rub it in. And I'm guessing.
And Sir Donald, I'll tell you later.
Sir Donald Ka, you were there? You were a little boy running around the field.
Yeah.
Late 40s was it? And you would know, no, I'm not saying you've seen Ranjit Singh Ji's, but your family, of course, prestigious family. You happen to be a 4th generation test player from that family.
Yes.
Probably the only family, I think, that has 4 generations of test players. Yes?
Yeah, the only that I know of. I doubt that, because Test cricket hasn't been around for that long, has it? So, 1896, then 1820s, 30s, then 60s, and then a few games in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, we're waiting for our 5th.
5th, yeah? No pressure on your son.
Yeah.
No pressure, buddy.
No pressure.
You'll be all right.
And it's invariably the nephew, not the son.
Ah, it's the nephew.
So, that takes the pressure off the son. Maybe time to change now.
Or, one second, or niece.
Yeah, now niece, of course.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
And you've got quite a few nieces as well.
got quite a few
Could
nieces.
be one of the
and-
nieces.
Yeah, and it's now actually I was watching that domestic game and I saw a couple of these girls hit some sixes, and they were hard-hitting players, and I'm actually looking forward to some women's cricket now. Once this season of ours finishes on the
Got a
8th.
World Cup coming.
and
Good timing.
So I'm going to sit and watch some women's cricket, because
Yeah.
I think it is getting more and more exciting now to watch women's cricket. It's almost like when we used to play. That's the pace that women's cricket is now at.
Yeah.
What you saw in 80s and 90s. And not fast bowling, of course, physically may be different, but,
No, but
the pace
listen,
of the game and
I think
the
their
skill.
scoring rates are better
Yeah,
than...
but no, of course, better than ours for sure. So that's what I'm saying. It's almost like that. So it is getting exciting.
Yeah.
If I thought
It's on its upswing, you're right.
it is on
Absolutely.
an upswing, and certainly now I think you're absolutely right. We should be the first generation of 4 generations of men's, and then maybe a daughter coming on. My daughter's got the pressure now.
There you
Come
go.
on, Meeru, get ready, darling.
Come on, Miru, no pressure. No pressure at all. All right. There was no pressure on all of you to get the joy factor right, but, well, you did it anyway. Let's just see who put the right answer in first. It's got to be a Rohit, right? If it's here,
Still a Rohit.
it's got to be a Rohit.
All the Sai.
Alada Sai Rohit. Congratulations to you. You, of course, get applause from us, and you get to give a lift to Joyda. He's standing there, hitchhiking. He's waiting. You can drop him home. He's been waiting for a very long time.
Is he just being nice to us that he's changed his handle and he's just made a different Rohit? And it's the same guy. He doesn't want you to feel bad that it's the same person who keeps winning.
I've got to tell you, Crick Rohit, the other day, there was a startling allegation on the social medias, on the tweeters, the startling allegation, which I completely deny because it's absolutely false, which is he has claimed in the public domain that there was apparently a red table ad to give him signed last year, which did not reach him, right? Now, all I know is that I signed it. Now, I don't know why it's not reached. I think Zach signed it as well.
It must be in your office. See, you
I
you
can
had a
neither
very
confirm or
you
deny
had-
that at the moment.
You had a very special relation with the red table,
That's right, we were close.
and you were very possessive about it.
We were close. We're friends.
So,
What can I
you took our
The only time we were apart, like Labuschagne and Smith, is when we were asleep. Or were we? I think we should.
Why don't you get another
Yeah,
table?
I said another red table.
Send
right?
another table,
Because I have a I have a feeling that between Ajit and Abhideep, one of them has. It's probably gone on eBay or something. So we'll have to figure out. And don't worry, Crick Rohit.
No, but all the first generation red tables are with you.
I don't know why, Zach, you keep saying that.
That's what the buzz around.
I'm willing to subject myself to a spot search at any point in time. Not of my person, because I will not be violated that way, but of my office or my residential premises. I'm willing for you to come
I shall
with an
do that.
enforcement team and have a look any time.
I shall do that.
Because they are at a secret location. I've said too much. It's time for us to go. Thank you so much for watching My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. A big thank you to Ajay, Jadeja and Zaheer Khan. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Pleasure.
Brothers, it's time to get out of here. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Sunday.